Hey, good evening, everybody. Okay, deterring from Caco stream for now to watch your reactions. He's playing over Jazz Jack Rabbit stuff if you want to read him later. Hey, Ward Misfit, thank you for the 25 bits and the host. And good evening, everybody. So I will say this right off the bat. I am slightly drunk right now. But I'm hoping I have enough of my cognitive facilities enabled to be able to appreciate what is a special time of the year as a Doom fan. And that is, of course, to go over the Cacowards. So this stream might not be the longest stream ever. You have to be drink XD. Yes, I have to be drink XD. I'm just checking something real quick. Alright, I think we're good to show this. Just let me... Oh, fucking hell. Let me just go for the screen here. There we go. Okay, so, this is the Cacowards. For those who don't know what the Cacowards are, it's a yearly thing that occurs on Doom's birthday. Ape amused. Rigged. Okay. I only know one Cacoward. One. I don't know anything else. So no spoilers, please. I have deliberately made sure I don't have more information on the Cacowards this year. I know of one. That's it. One runner-up prize, and it's a very, very appreciative prize, of course. So I'm glad it got what it got. But anyway, the Cacowards. Yeah, it's fine. Don't worry about it, Lord Misfit. I'm not too bothered. I trust people are sensible. It's all I'm going to see it in the next hour or so. So yeah, the Cacowards are a yearly thing that happens on the anniversary of Doom's release date, December 10th. They are a awards Oscar-style system where basically the best of the best get... Oh my god, I see page 4. Yes! I like what I see! I know the list is right there. Shut up. I'm trying not to look at them too much, but I'm going to go through them anyway. I'm very proud to see two things in there. One of which I knew and one I just see now, and I like what I see. Alright, this is my honest reaction to the Cacowards. These are basically kind of a marker for what is good in the Doom community, you know? There's a series of judges who are established and long-time members of Doom, and they judge what's good in this year, you know? So it's always an exciting moment to see what's happening. And Major Arlene is one of the judges. That's cool. She's a pretty good judge. So I'm going to go through the Cacowards pretty much. And if I'm in the mood for anything else after this, I'll see. I'll see how my intoxication holds me out. But this is pretty much just reaction. I know a lot of people right now are probably watching John Romero stream Doom, and that's cool. You know, John Romero streaming Doom on the 20th anniversary. Awesome. I will be watching that myself, but I'll watch the VOD and highlights later. It's awesome. He's finished. Oh, cool. I look forward to highlights. You know, John Romero doing a stream is always a privilege. Anyway, I was watching Gecko and working more on your mod. Hey Spinzig, how you doing? So I do apologise, I'm a bit drunk. I hope to have enough cognitive facilities to get through this. But let's get through this. So we have the inoculation of the 2021 Cacowards. 2021 just so happens to be the year of the Ox, and we would definitely work like oxen, doing our best to keep pace with the year's producer's output. Hey, the VH Productions, how you doing? Bringing many of us to sometimes jokingly say, stop giving us so much good stuff to play. Coming through at higher volume than crypto rug pulls. Amazing maps have been thrown at us left, right, and centre since December the 11th, 2020, and thus we've added 2 more big award spots to accommodate such a massively stacked year. And not just that, we've also recognized 21 more WODs just for 2021. Just about to go to bed. If you can stay up for another half hour, that'd be cool. From Dario Casari's surprise return playing Bretonia 2, I still need to watch that. Romero's announcement of Sigil 2. Fuck yes, more Romero maps are awesome. And Wee Jackson's return to mini making in Force. And epic collab with Jimmy. Wait, what's this? I'm sorry, I need to check this out. What? Whoa! Jimmy got to work with Wee Jackson? Holy shit! Fucking hell. I'm not surprised. I mean, Jimmy is pretty much one of our best MIDI creators in the Doom community, but holy shit. Wow. He got to work with the legend, the composer of Incredible Power, Wee Jackson. Damn it, Jimmy. Another notch for your belt. A well-earned belt too, considering how many WODs use Jimmy MIDIs. Absolutely the legend of Jimmy Paddock. He will be the new Mark Clem. Far better. You know, Jimmy MIDIs are awesome. I love his work. The return of the legends can only signify even more epic things for the future of the Doom community. Fuck yes. We can only hope that the upward trend of amazing Doom mapping continues, even at the risk of future Cacowards being just as full to bursting as this year. The team has also had its... Sorry if my words are a bit slurred, folks. The team has also had its first share of restructure this year outside of its awards. Not Jabber has left the panel and will be dearly missed, although I can highly recommend his Not the Cacowards threads for more of amazing insights and reviews, blah blah blah. However, we have found new blood to sacrifice to the icon of sin. I mean, a couple of fantastic new additions to our team. Onimark is an avid review enthusiast best known for his 4,000 word mini novel on his 10 favorite maps, and Dynamo is a long-time Z-Doom's forums veteran and Doom Wiki contributor, keeping up with the whatever. And Dashi, cool. Right, let's get on with this, shall we? Let's see. SB Award for Lifetime Achievement, Zazer. No surprise there whatsoever. Zazer has done a lot for Doom, you know, and Doom 64 and everything. You know, Zazer, very creative, awesome mapper, really, really good. I'm not surprised a lifetime achievement has been given to him. Zazer, as Alfonso aptly put it in 2017, is the Doom community's truest polymath. Over the years, I have seen him endearingly likened to a supercomputer. I've seen many people wonder exactly what supernatural wellspring his ideas come from. Leaders cause us to Doom World, rightly known as a mapper of limitless creativity first, and then secondly as a renaissance man who likes other things too, like competitions for Back to San X's OST, helpful... Oh look! Damn numbs. Damn numbs! Damn numbs! Misfit! He created the damn numbs that you love so much. So Zazer. And lately, Heartland's new Arsenal. But the full picture of why he is receiving the SB award starts in the Zaynab community all the way back in the mid-2000s with his trailblazing work as a gameplay modder. The reason put him on many old times radar in 2005 was the classic partial conversion Zen Dynamics. Framed around the story, I didn't actually know that, to be honest with Misfit. Framed around a story awarded with many zany ideas, outfitted with an expansive weapons mod. Notably, it hacked together a weapon reloading system years before Zaydum itself added that functionality. This served as a model many other modders would rely on the interim and would begin a pattern that could be summarized as Zazer thinks of something cool, implements it, and everyone follows suit. And Psychic. In 2009 came Psychic, which paired unorthodox weapons like energy nail guns with an extensive extent of psychic abilities which you can level up during the course of play. That's cool, Misfit. Designed along talented friends, it was also a trendsetter in many ways with its buttery smooth animations and effects and with the graphics user interface overlay system used for its game store. The overlay system was once again implemented long before overlay systems were natively supported in Zaydum. Even after all this time, Psychic is held in the highest regard with the Steam gameplay modder Terminus Est, knowing in 2018 that nearly every aspect of the mod has been imitated or referenced or expanded on. But to this day, nobody can quite match the bar Psychic has set. Sorry if I skim over some of this stuff, by the way. I will be doing that because there's a lot of text. Let's do. I also know that Zazer's really good on the Doom 64 scene, which is cool. Cheers, everyone. In many circles, Psychic is still name dropped as a great example of you name it. Hand-sprited motion blur, magic systems, dual attack systems. Despite being quite streamlined, very far from an omnibus, contains everything type of mod. Using a gravity wave to hurl a horde of revenants off a bridge is even more fun than you might imagine. I can imagine. For a time, just about every major development in gameplay modding seemed to propagate from either Wild Weasels mods or Zazers. One famous example being Parkour's oft-imitated synth-fire hack for independently operated dual-wielded weapons, and Zazer is commonly thought of as one of the spiritual forefathers of a thriving GZ Doom modding scene, with countless standouts like DLA, Lithium, Guncaster, High Noon Drifter, and silly weird weapons mod GZ that have his fingerprints in some way. His work, that's Mercer's cool mod. His work consistently pushed boundaries, and as friends can attest, the impact spread past the specifics. There is much to be said for proving that breaking limits is possible in a general sense. For those who ground the feeling of this shouldn't be possible in Doom, but it is, in real life examples, and inspires others to take on their own bold, improbable experiments. There's also one of those extreme cases where name-dropped examples lead to understatement, if anything, like measuring Erin Vidal's influence by counting homages. By now, it's just in the water. Excuse me. It's possible, Lord Misfit. This carries his timeline to his ascension as a mapper, which is nothing if not a microcosm of his greater versatility. If you split Zazer the mapper into a few separate Zazers, don't get any ideas. Each belonging into a distinct sphere in which he has thrived, each copy would have gained a dedicated fan following of his own at some point, despite the limited output. There'd be the Zazer who contributed to throwbacks like Doom the Lost Episode, Doom the Way It Did, No One in Sight. You know, I don't know if I should give No One in Sight as I can play for it at some point. People love that shit. I didn't like it past episode 2, but maybe I was a bit harsh at the time. Which corrupted the moon-based and hellscaping silence of the original games with wildly imaginative brain-melting madness. There might be the Zazer of enigmatic standalones like Sharp Things and Dead Wire and Dead Air. Yeah, I'm sorry, but even Zazer didn't make invisible enemies playable and fun. Sorry, you didn't achieve that, Zazer, in my eyes. But those were damn good wads for atmosphere. Really good shit. The latter two being high-tech counterparts to No One in Sight as cutting-edge convergence of high-end GZ Doom features and sweet component visuals. There would be the Zazer who would be carried on for his spellbinding work in ambitious team projects such as Transcendence from Eternity. I forgot about that. Wild Blue Yonder, alongside Trot for Adventures of Square. And I got a good deal of Back to Center Next episode 2. And you can't really forget the Zazer of inspired ridiculousness like Turbocharged Arcade. And there's also Zazer the multiplayer mapper. I mean, there might be a strong correlation between developing the arthritis and remembering Zazer from the Skull Tag community, but did you know that over the ages he mapped for duel and free-for-all, captured a flag in its three-way variant, or even ghouls versus humans? That was a Cutman Mike thing, wasn't it? To say the lax Zazer, one less haunted by the spectre of perfection and more content with just drawing pretty circular architecture, which is his trademark, of course. He likes his fucking towers. One often straying into outright comedy such as Space DMS, yet some of his 32 in 24 contributions became popular mainstays in the notoriously picky competitive deathmatch community. Speaking of which, there's also Zazer of the community project Journeyman. For almost a decade, he'd seemingly browsed speed mapping sessions and opened project forums to randomly drop a map or three that would feel like an outlier and an highlight of the set all at once. Be it the adventurous Doom 2 named Molly Secret Wolfenstein map, 32 in 24/17's twisty business with almost irrationally pleasing layout cleanness, or the complex but playful contributions to the Plutonia Revisited community project, which I have not played. Oh god, it goes on for a bit. There's a certain manic quality to Zazer's production. His participation in PRCP back in 2010 to 11 seemed random at the time, but it was a pivotal point for his mapping career since it was his self-admitted first attempt at aiming for pure vanilla. Despite his cries about transitioning from the absolute freedom of Zadoom to the universe of strict engine constraints, he still managed to knock out the most complex vanilla compliant layouts this side of Mechadon. in a project that was completed under a year's time. And then Dam broke loose. In the span of several months, Zazer was involved in Doom the way it did and got recruited for BDSX, Batman X. Later he joined his mapping idol Natural Deventi in the spiritual Doom the way it did expansion, Knowing Insight, and then Zazer was a vanilla expert. I'm sorry, I may not read all of this entirely, to be honest with you. I'm sorry if you don't, I don't know if you expect me to read all of this, but the bottom line is I certainly agree Zazer is deserving of a lifetime award. Zazer maps in the projects I've played over the years have usually been interesting circular tower-based creations, and I certainly know you have a lot of reading to do, by the way. Yeah, I don't want to read all the time, but I think you get the idea that Zazer basically is a good mapper. You know, he did a lot of good work with Doom 64 as well. And obviously Zazer is a what with down numbers in action. There it is. This was written by RDWPA and Do. So that's nice. I know I have a lot of reading to do. I don't want to. I mean, this is a very long section. I have nothing to say against this. Zazer is a well-earned winner of this kind of award. You know, I mean, Zazer's done a lot of cool technical stuff. He's been around for years. He's a worthy winner. You know, I'm sure he'll be very proud of his SB achievement. Without a doubt. The Sky may be. This year, Rand Greyman Furs lost his bout. Oh, right, yeah, of course. We would like to extend condolences to his relatives and also the thief community that became his stomping ground after he graduated from Doom. Oof. Rand Furs. That's a shame. Right, so that's the Lifetime Achievement winner, Zazer. No one can argue with that, really. Zazer's doing good shit. And of course, his Doom 64 stuff is also is also worthy of note. He is one of those who did Doom 64 shit. He really likes his... I hope I'm thinking the right person is, but yeah, his Doom 64 involvement is pretty cool as well. Alright, so, the top 12, page 1. Let's get into it. Oh my god, what a fucking surprise. Oh my god. The easiest fucking Cacaward in history to predict. Heartland by Skillsoul 1. What a shock. Of course, a worthy winner, because Heartland was excellent. As I have played it this year. It was fun. Of course, being a Skillsoul fan, I played it as soon as it came out. It was great. And it's flung a sort of new... yeah, I've played Heartland. Of course I would. Skillsoul's works are great. I love his balance of difficulty. And this is a cool new engine. He's flung it in. The Eternity engine is now a new thing for Doom. MBF 21 or whatever it's called. You know. Of course I did. As soon as I heard about this WOD being a thing, I had to play it immediately. And I did play it pretty quickly. And it was good. I liked it. It was a bit tough, but it was good. Skillsoul map sets very rarely disappoint. You can find it on my YouTube channel. It will be this year. But anyway, at this point, Skillsoul doesn't need much of an intro. Besides, as being flung face first into a cyber demon in a certain map showed, he's perfectly capable of using himself. He's talking about Ancient Aliens map 1, of course. But if you need one, from Vanguard to Ancient Aliens, his last decade is a litany of some of the community's most beloved work, touchstones that have come to define an era. If you tried to pin down the qualities that made these map sets and now Heartland special, you'd have, well, a lot of options. One might be the frenzied encounters that can feel like taking on the whole world and triumphing. Another might be the old iconic themes, the lunar colonies, the orange hellscapes, the polychrome laser-flit Egypt mindfucks. There's of course the sick flow and relentless pace where for long stretches playing dissolves into instinct. But what might be more special is his cinematic flair. So many moments of his, white bridges and wolf warps and zombie parties and final countdowns have stuck in the collective imagination because they are like concoctions out of the mind of movies. direct to doom, framed and staged in indelible scenes. So when Heartland wades with a train chase scene with dual pistols and shattering glass and spilling blood, you might be wowed by it at all. You might be hyped for what is coming, but you can also know it's already not a one-off. That's skill saw. As I said at the time, it felt like something you would see in the build engine. I had not seen anything like that before as an intro to a map set. That was honestly straight up build engine shit at least. You know? It made a hell of a first impression in Heartland when I played it. And the rest of Heartland was not to disappoint either. This is just the first time, and the first wave of many. Heartland serves up a jaw-dropper of this sort, has you operating machinery into its dilapidated jigsaw of factories and warehouses. The other masterstroke is how organically this happens. Calmer strolls and heated scuffles falling into extravagant showpieces and back again, so fluidly that playing can feel like one endless one take. Another way it melts your brain, you might want to look up to the sky. When it peaks, the world of Heartland is an industrial nightmare that builds above you, a fractured grid of beams and platforms and highways with cranes and smokestacks that loom like sentinels, the husk of an infested city burning in the night sky. It plummets below you, beneath gratings that tease impending fights under your feet, to dusky tunnels and nests of brick bungalows, with steep drops to blood-soaked caverns from towers countless feet high. All of this is possible thanks to the Eternity's Engine's cutting-edge use of portals which can seamlessly weigh many physical planes while maintaining the game's old feel. But as much as the pure technical marvel is monumental, what sticks with you even more is the experience created through it. All the cinematic rises and falls and shifts around the many thrilling fights, the possibilities foreshadowed in every direction, the way it can feel like you are inhabiting a real, immersive place even as the arenas pile up to, as it were, your heart's content. This is where the initial premise of pinning down specific qualities turns out to be quite entangled. Because skill saw has always been, like Heartland's trains, a moving target. One for acts of reinvention within its overall leanings. Even for the initiated, a lot of this feels new. I'll agree with that. Down to how the abstract, colourful bars and slabs of pastwork give way to a more earthly realm of factories and gas stations and subways. Which is why there's something poetic about it being Eternity's big homecoming. The most experimental of classic-minded ports. There's a sort of convergence of skills here. Caesar's smooth new arsenal that allows skill saw's exuberant combat. There's Caesar again. Choreography to shine on an even grander scale. Stu Boy's melodies that can lift even peaceful moments to the height of elation. Hey, me the pineapple, how you doing? We are going through the Cacowards. We have just started. Zazer won the ESPY award. And thank you for the follow, Tour. How are you doing? Thanks for the follow. Much appreciated. We're going through some Cacowards. Annual awards for Doom stuff. As a Doom streamer, this is a big thing. Sorry, I need to get back to the reading. There's a lot of reading to do, apparently. Minis that since Ancient Aliens feel every bit the core character as every kamikaze zombie a founding scientist, even their support of Azimuth that led Heartland's most experimental aspects smoothly with the port. There's a whole lot of layers, and if Heartland's wizardry is making the more stacked harmoniously, the underlying end symbolism is that it's always been this way for the community as its beginning. Written by RD. 3PA. Fuck off, Spidzig! No! No! I got a response from Highcross on that, by the way. Oh, wait, it didn't show up in Streamlabs. But Highcross has followed the channel. So he might be around next time when I play his next creation tomorrow. Should be fun. I think Highcross took it well. You know. Oh, whoa. Sorry about that one. So yeah, Heartland was an obvious CAC Award winner. Let's not beat the bush. Everyone would have pitched it as a winner. It's a winner. It's great. Play Heartland. It's good. No doubt about it. I have no question. You know, I enjoyed Heartland. It was tricky in places, but it's a good skill saw award. And you know, if it sets a trend for Eternity Engine shit or MBF 21 or whatever the fuck it's called, it's a good precursor. Still Cacowards? Oh yeah, what the hell is that? Intergalactic Xenology 2? Wait. Hold on. There was a sequel? How the fuck did I miss this? I played the first one. I did. I played the first one. And I said, oh wow, it's really cool. There's some AA text map sets. How the fuck did I miss the sequel? Ah! Why did I miss this? I actually liked the first one. It was pretty cool. You know, it was one of the very few WODs I'd ever come across that used Ancient Aliens text. They made a sequel? Why did no one mention this to me? Oh man, I feel like I should play this at some point. It looks cool. Just for this one screenshot. Sorry. Anyway, Intergalactic Xenology 2 won a Silver Cacaward by Dread Up and Lord Z. I didn't know either. I mean, I played this as a playtest. I liked it. I really did. You want some music? Okay. Oh, no. Tracker music? Fucking hell. I watched the Aloy video about tracker music tonight while I was in the pub. Fucking hell. That was a good, interesting video. Okay, I could put some music on. Just give me a sec. I don't know what music to put on. Sure, tracker music. Okay. Let's see what I can dig up for you. Ooh. Tracker playlist from 1999. It's not a poker list. Shut up. There we go. Alright, there we got some music going. Okay. In another installation of the epic otherworldly series, Dread and Lord Z return with even more mind-bending, colour-filled alien action. In this universe, nothing is impossible, and the walls often speak lies. It starts off innocently enough, dropping you into a peaceful, mountainous forest area. Nothing could possibly go wrong here, right? But as it turns out, the aliens have once again invaded Earth, sinking their tendrils into the luxuriant grass. Here for what seems to be a hidden tomb, it gets deeper and darker, very twist and turn. From there, you're at the aliens' mercy as they drag you through snow-topped cliffs, rainbow bridge voids, and grand ancient structures with real clues as to how or why all this is happening. The duo's mastery of both the technical and storytelling aspects of mapping is a full feast in this set, pushing Boom to its full potential in ways that feel natural to such an abstract type of story. The whimsy of the fourth map, Symbiotic Infestation, is 1 part great thematics and 2 parts boom magic. It depicts a scientific facility with a shrink ray way better than any Duke Nukem games. Really? So if you're ever wondering what the inside of a Cacodemon... Right, that's it. I have to play this one. I'm sorry. I have to play this now. Bookmarks bar. I have to play this. That sounds awesome just by itself. No, not right now. No. Hey, Corn King, how you doing? We'll see. That sounds amazing. I have to play that. A shrink ray of a Cacodemon? Fuck yes. I am sold. I did say I'd have some Christmas surprises. This might be one of them. I am sold on this. I didn't know there was a sequel. Oh god, why did nobody tell me? I would have played this sequel fucking absolutely day one. This side is good, by the way. It's fine. We'll make it up. We'll play it. It's a Cacaward winner. I may have to play it. I'm sorry. I know it's deviates from... I mean, I will play HH Xmas first, but if I get any time, I'm playing this WOD. 100%. It's on my bookmark bar. Okay. Sorry. Let's calm down. Jesus Christ, Corn King. The Game Awards are always going to be shit. Why would you watch that? The duo's mastery of both the technical and storytelling aspects of mapping is a full feast in this set, pushing Boom to its full potential in ways... Oh, sorry, I'm rereading this. All in all, it's a great insight into what a spiritual successor to Asian aliens should look and feel like. And just a perfect length for an afternoon just jaunt into the strange universe within. By RE. Good write up. Yeah, I'm sure if there's any good highlight videos, I'll watch it, Corn King. Alright, next up, Lullaby by Danlex. One map for Jeezy. Wow, that's a cool looking picture. Last of Us 2. That was last year, Corn King. I'm sure they sucked some other game off. This is good music, by the way. Track and music, whoever suggested that were on point. In breathtaking azure splendor, Lullaby brings to life a world equal parts whimsical and dark. A feast for the eyes as well as a holistically enjoyable gameplay experience. Like the many way good dreams begin, you're woken from your mundane bedroom looking out to a visage of a grand castle, lit with bright turquoise and lying at the end of a path of stars. It's very Alice in Wonderland if Alice fell into a starry void instead of a forest. But don't worry, there's plenty of creatures to meet, although they won't be as accommodating all kind. Backed by a lifting score, Blue Star by Darkwave 0000, there is still a sense of benign whimsy to this beautifully frightening place. So I'm just checking something there. In this map, you're spoiled for choice on how to proceed, a match of maze of branching paths, all leading to the same goal, to collect 3 keys and return to the waking world. With monsters to be hound every corner and down each hole, their cries echoing in the great grey and teal chambers. There's little time to waste, although just enough to soak up the incredible scenery and vistas of falling stars. Downlights isn't afraid to create incredible set pieces. One of the most notable ones of this map is the Spider Mastermind fight to gain the Blue Skull Key. Equal parts childlike and scary, the Great Spider watches, frozen in place until brought to life by the key's retrieval, and then ritual hell rains down upon you. Or take a stroll through the caverns, shocks of orange cyan, crystalline stone, shaking along the floors and floors, unclear with if malignant growths or simply benign parts of this foreign ecosystem teeming with life, both hostile and not so. And of course the ending fight. Gargantuan fractal curtains surround the frenetic scene as you rip and tear for the hopeful sweet end to this dream. That's cool, VH Productions. Beyond how simply gorgeous this map is, its technicality is something fierce to behold. Putting Jeezy Doom through its paces, Downmix has managed to create some of the most uniquely styled architecture ever to be found in modern day Doom. From star and mountain shaped arches to checkerboarded holes that seem to reach into an endless void. Did we mention the snake-like bookshelves? Downmix's ooze of slopes, texturing, and intricate shapes bring the surrealness of this dreamscape to the next level, creating a sense of place that's not just a place but an experience to be beholden. His mastery of new mapping techniques in this map and in a map like this is put to its fullest potential. The otherworldly saying, allowing for non-Euclidean geometry and mind-bending texture wrapping. From beginning to end, this lullaby enchants, thrills, and brings to life the sometimes terrifying beauty of what dreams can be. A waking experience from the things we can only hope to see in our sleep. So, have a listen to Lullaby and see if your dreams really come true. Alright, it looks pretty cool from the picture though. So, grats Danlex. Good shit. And then we have Sidonia by AD79 and Scotty. Described as a throwback set by its creators, Sidonia seems at first glance like a straightforward reinterpretation of the Kasari brothers' masterpiece. The imitation is clearly not the objective, however, and the author's true intentions only become more apparent as one delves deeper into the set. The essence of the source material manifests itself in the set's open, curvaceous layouts, in its economical use of monsters and the brevity and focus of its maps. Pardon me? Sorry. These design sensibilities, which define the majority of the maps, from a certain set of baseline expectations to bind the experience together. It is, however, Sidonia's ability to deviate from this mean, both mechanically and emotively, which truly elevates it in my view. Whether it be the strikingly contemporary level design sensibilities of 04, the psychotic BFG fueled aggression of 13, or the quiet abroral immensity of 16, these deviations stand out in the mind, including what could easily be a one-note, if highly enjoyable, experience with a series of standout focal points. The ratio of non-standard to standard maps increases as the set goes on, with the final third consisting primarily of these more experimental designs. This, combined with the brevity and originality of the original maps, makes Cydonia a very refreshing experience, constantly building on itself while never losing sight of its core appeal. This willingness to experiment within the bounds of its aforementioned foundational design sensibilities is, in my view, what makes Cydonia the truest successor to Plutonia. That's high praise indeed, is it not? More so than any of the sets which bear that hollowed name. This is no ordinary throwback, made lesser by uncritical adoration of the source, but a dynamic, forward-thinking piece that takes what it likes and leaves the rest behind. Wow. An official follow-up from Plutonia. And to think people have spent years trying to do just that. Partly according to OmniArc, Cydonia is that follow-up. Dang. And then we have Ashes Afterglow by Vostiok and Reformed Joe. A 20-map standalone for GZ Doom. I don't know anything about this one. 2018's Ashes 2063 gives a taste of the apocalypse across 9 maps of irradiated landscapes, crumbling cities, and hostile gang hideouts. Its expansion pack Dead Man walking up the ante with its ferocious hotel shootouts and explosive finale. And now, 3 years later, Ashes Afterglow is finally out. And if we all thought 2063 was rad as hell, Afterglow completely blasts away all expectations in a giant mushroom cloud. Our dear playable scavenger wakes up bruised and battered in the infirmary of an underground shelter after his search for the origin point of a mysterious radio signal ended, shall we say, less than gracefully. He discovers that things have changed rapidly while he was unconscious, as large-scale mutant attacks spread in all nearby settlements, forcing him to move quickly if he wants to stay ahead of the game. And move he will, for Afterglow presents itself as an expansive, immersive, immense, hub-based world. The initial shelter serves only as a starting point for your adventure, but it conveniently introduces many of the teachers you'll be dealing with. NPCs serve a much greater role than before, and several side quests are available rewardingly with lots of bits of ore and the hottest currency around, junk. This currency can then be used to purchase guns. Yeah. Ashes Afterglow is perhaps unusual compared to your standard Doom fare in that it places a heavy emphasis on narrative, much more so than its predecessor, containing hefty amounts of war and, dare I say it, even a kind of mythology. Well-written dialogue is never boring and rarely, if ever, interrupts the most exciting gameplay moments, and also provides a lot of information about the world, its inhabitants, their goals and plans for survival and conquest. Okay, so narrative focus on this one, cool. The world of Afterglow warrants additional praise simply for how much it is able and willing to surprise the player. The mod could rightly have gone away with rehashing the same themes of gang encampments and abandoned subways, but while familiar sights abound, what truly steals the show is the more daring and experimental levels Vostok and Reformed Joe have put together. The Arboretum in particular stands out, a colossal glass dome stirring as a botanical garden, turned into an almost alien world following intense irradiation, filled with unthinkable creatures and horrifying mutated vegetation. It all sounds very Fallout, doesn't it? I guess. Initially seen from a distance as a small and assuming building for a grate, its sheer scale and decaying splendor become apparent only after you've infiltrated it and cleared the initial rooms. It is without question one of the most striking and memorable levels released this year. That and Anomaly 210 for those fortunate enough to find it, which will surely have your jaw proverbially dropped to the floor. Of course, the ambience is enhanced tenfold thanks to Primeval. Hey, Primeval, good to see you get credit there. Magnificent soundtrack, ensuring you will not soon forget the gang-occupied facilities or the creepy military bases from the old world. Ashes Afterglow is an incredible... Wow! Hey, Hackross. Greetings, everyone, and thank you for the 500 bits. Thanks for the follow the other day, by the way. And here is Hackross, the mapper that I may have completely slandered, but not entirely, the other day. But how are you doing, Hackross? Just to let you know, I do intend on playing your second map in the playtest stream tomorrow. I will be playing your other map. I have some better hopes for the second one, to be honest. And I hope that you did not take the harsh criticism too painfully. I generally think that, you know, the Hackross complex was you just being a bit overextending yourself, but you certainly at least showed potential for creative ideas, you know. It wasn't like there weren't some slightly redeeming parts to that experience. Shut up, amused. I want to encourage mappers, but sometimes you do have to be harsh to do that, you know. But, you know, thank you for responding to the VODs, and, you know, I don't want to discourage mappers. I just want to do my best to try and improve the, you know, make them, you know, hopefully encourage them to create better things. That's the whole purpose of my playtests and my existence, I guess. You know, I certainly don't want to say. I certainly don't want to say outright that Hackross, don't make another map again. Give up. Go play Fortnite with all the other kids. I'd rather say you could do better than this. If you had more time, more polish, the Hackross complex could have been a lot better. And I'd rather go for that angle, to be honest. So, I believe, I seem to remember people talking about the original Ashes thing. I've never played any of them. I do have to apologise. There's probably a lot of these WODs I won't have heard of or never played. So it's going to be like, whoa, what's this? What's this? I don't know what this is. But, you know, I gotta react to them anyway. There's a couple of things I will have heard of. He was violent! That comes with the territory, Corn King, of course. Your best nightmare map. Alright, so we got Time Tripper by Emma MSX2 Plus Essex. Benjo Garmy liked your map because Benjo Garmy liked World Orifice. You know, he has a venture for the patience. The lengthy, patient, enduring maps. Because Benjo Garmy is weird. He likes that kind of thing. Possibly. But maybe he also saw something else. I don't know. Also, it wasn't a maps. It was one map. Unless you played the other creation. Anyway. So, Time Tripper won an award. GZ Doom 8 maps. Time Tripper begins as many familiar stories do. A quiet walk through the woods results in uncovering a mysterious portal leading to faraway realms filled with strange creatures hostile to your trespassing. For eyes where the familiarities quickly fade, for the journey that awaits our main character, Doom Elf is anything but typical. Described by its author as an exercise in embracing creative chaos as a vision, Time Tripper takes place across 8 levels connected through time and space by several gateways. Doom Elf himself prefers utilising most of the Doom 64 arsenal as opposed to the more traditional Doom 2 weaponry, and he starts off with the shotgun and dual-bladed chainsaw. No pistol or fist in this adventure. Wow, that's interesting. A number of new monster types are introduced throughout the set. I see some heretic monsters there. Or Hex and whatever. Throughout the set, but the old bestiary gets significant changes as most of the familiar demons now release a variety of magenta cyan projectiles, bringing to mind shmups by Ikagura and Donpachi, even if the projectile density never reaches bullet hell levels. Coupled with an announcer for weapon pickups and checkpoints, it grants the modern arcade feel that complements the dreamlike setting very well. Indeed, the worlds you visit are incredibly surreal but also eclectic, molded from different materials and ideas which nevertheless work together in unison. This is in fact Time Tripper's greatest strength, its capacity to blend so many disparate elements in a near-perfect harmony. And so exploring the cabins of a speeding train gives way to a snowy landscape, suspended in the void. Venturing into a derelict UAC base ultimately takes you to the liminal space, fighting silhouettes of your enemies. Effects as a sky flickering in and out or TV static-like edges on certain objects gives the feeling that perhaps the very fabric of reality is traversing the poles alongside you. The highly varied soundtrack is a perfect accessory to the maps, and in spite of its relatively short length, Time Tripper has no prolonged lapses in creativity and feels constantly active conceptually, remaining a roller coaster of sights worth seeing and experiencing right until the credits roll. Alright, good night. Good night, Bates Productions. Alright, so that's the first page. I'm going to take a quick piss and I'll be right back for the next one. Alright, I'm back. Sorry about that, everyone. As I said, I am slightly drunk. Do forgive me if I am a bit weak in the bladder department. Alright, so, page 2. Taunton's Projectile Hell. Yep, I saw this one making it, even though I never played it myself. I suppose I'd make it cool, man. So this is also made for the Eternity engine and 36 maps. I was actually tempted to play this at some point, but I never got around to it. One of the first things that jumps out about Taunton's Projectile Hell, and ultimately one of the best things about it, is how unseriously it takes itself. As Doomgirl Kirasame... Hey, Marissa! That sounds a bit familiar to me, I think. You enter through a USB stick instead of a puddle, and it doesn't take long for you to meet Cacowards demons to dash around absurdly quickly. If you get mailed by one, the obituary crates kill to an excited Caco demon. Me! Not you! Shut up, Jerry. It also doesn't take long to realise that underneath the flippant pose, it's very serious work of craft. Tarzan is one of the best active designers in the neoclassical tradition of Espy. Scenes unfold in bold angular shapes, contrasting brands of colour interlaced at just the right proportions, like an unceasing golden mean. Its smaller areas are beautiful in their minimalism, in a way that a few features can carry so much. And as the scale grows, the panoramas sprawl with strange geometry, like something out of a mathematical bad dream. A stylized look that fits the madcap absurdist sci-fi of the story and is lovely to look at, beautiful too in its disorder. The early maps hold back, a scary thought considering how wild they already are, but grow more and more unhinged as the adventure continues, which is just true about everything here. When it hits its stride, Projectile Hell unfolds as a masterful blend of theme and combat and story and concept. A discursive adventure replayed with boundless wit. The mad genius is at the blazing display of colourful locales and off-the-wall thematic incursions, which are like Tarzan's love letter to the married images throughout Doom was to have left a mark on him, are united by a farcical nonsense story. None where you turn down the sun's volume and bow over the sentence of a dead Bulgarian actors in a long-distance super future. Wow. Along the way, you'll laugh, you'll be impressed, and you might even yell at Tarzan because the combat gets very heated long before you're in the sun, even with carrios as it's balanced for. If some familiar spiky imps have you expecting Valiant on steroids, the uncompromising tone, the way the bizarre, terrifying, bizarre creatures all have the upper hand and excess supplies are all hard won, will quickly diffuse that tone. If it's at all similar, this is more like Valiant blazing a strong cocktail of the hardest, dirtiest drugs. You'll long for the days when rude Archvile fights were the worst of your troubles, and then wander into Archvile nest that immediately make you regret that wish. You'll find cool oddities like a berserk power-up that injects a massive, temporary boost into every weapon you have. With the right mindset, it's good fun. Over the years, some circles have held that creative vision and polished design were at cross purposes, that the freewheeling lawlessness of a romanticized 90s can only be reclaimed by embracing sloppiness. Many people called ours nonsense and said you were attuned to the right frequencies of polished modern works, you'd find them just as creative in their own ways. Tarzan long ago defended that position, even against extreme views that one should deliberately insert bad maps into Megawads to keep things fresh. Why would you ever do that? Insert bad maps into Megawads deliberately. Why the fuck would you ever do that? So it isn't really surprising that as a long-awaited pet project, he puts his fat stacks of money where his big mouth is. Why would you ever want to create deliberately bad maps into projects? You know? There's no way you should deliberately... You know, if you know a map is bad... You should never want to insert it into a creation. If you don't know it's bad, that's different, I guess. But yeah, a win for Tarzman there. Sold So by Fry Yuko. Heretic. Ooh, a Heretic map set. Easy do my maps. A new chapter in the stunningly expanding Chronicles of Heretic. Sold So relates the tale of a mysterious merchant of the occult who, having been betrayed and marked for liquidation by unknown powers high up the supply chain, set out on a ruthless quest for revenge, while clearly inspired by other community classics for Heretic. The world of Sold Soul holds an appeal of its own, with a believably gritty, well-worn and lived-in look distinct from the grandiose building facades and interiors that characterize the Wayfarer, and a steady sense of linear travel for an increasingly dramatic landscape that escalates towards the climax in a more cathartic way than the episodic, occasionally surrealist approach of Curse of the Sparrow. Well, I guess, yeah, bad, you know, interpretation, bad. But if it's like objectively bad, yeah. I guess that's different, right? Though scenic, the journey is anything but leisurely, beginning in the midst of an all-out raid on the protagonist's sanctum by a horde of slavering beasts. Sold Soul kicks off with fast action right out of the gate, and without ever losing its brisk forward pace, only becomes bloodier and bloodier as the story unfolds. With battles against veritable legions of foes becoming the norm long before the last minion to betray leads its final death rattle at the merchant's feet. Fryuko shows an accomplished understanding of Heretic's distinct power dynamic, encouraging the player to cut loose and mercilessly leverage the full power of the game's specialized arsenal to swat aside swarms of foes like mere puff clouds of gnats, and to sardonically exploit its magical artifacts to gain every possible advantage. As the icing on the cake, the keen awareness of the game's mechanical peculiarities synergizes in intriguing ways with its detailed world design, allowing for some true entertaining extracurricular side tracks, including what is one of the cleverest methods of concealing a hidden level to be found in any P-word. Wow, that's quite a claim, isn't it? The cleverest ways of concealing a hidden level in any P-word. And this is in a heretic map set, no less. Whether you're an inveterate heretic or an occasional sinner, this is not one to miss. And remember, no room for honor or pity on vengeance trails by Demon of the Well. Nice. And then we have Fractured Worlds. Nirvana with Scotty and Insane Gazebo. Man, Scotty's been mentioned twice now. The intergalactic world trip of Fractured Worlds seems our nameless, planet-hopping protagonist forging a path through the quietly rusting hulks of long-abandoned outposts, the natural splendor of deep caverns and valleys worn by eons of wind and water, ominous shells of alien cathedra pregnant with eerie sirens, buried megafolks hosting titanic machinery of imposing construction and incomprehensible purpose. Another place is stranger still. Therein lies the beauty, of course. Once a theme manages to capture the community's imagination, it's bound to live on in perpetually. To be continually re-examined and re-explored and reinterpreted by each successive generation. To that end, Nirvana and a pair of special guests have zeroed in on the deceptively complex layouts and cerebral combat design of their influences, pushing the envelope in both regards to new heights, sure to leave even the most jaded old hand take it back. You can request it for next time, amused, if I ever do a third list. Both whimsical and deadly, the combat comprising the heart of Fractured Worlds is as boundlessly clever as it is abundant, actively marrying dynamic geometry to intense, stylish action like few have done before. Many maps and even map sets are defined by a signature fight, but such a notion here seems as ethereal as a twilight breeze. Battle after battle, map after map, the authors dish up inventive twists that mark out each of its many battles as mechanically distinct and immediately memorable. Alright. I'm sorry if I'm starting to skim over these a little bit. So if we put there is no other map set this year that makes a final showcase of sheer imagination in encounter design, and few that offer a setting as atmospheric and compelling. Prepare for a pilgrimage wreathed in curtains of gun smoke and stardust, steeped in rivers of alien blood, out of the known and into the outermost darkness itself. Rest assured it's a journey that you won't soon forget, whether or not you ever return. I'm not really surprised that the words trying to make interesting combat mechanics come from these two. Scotty always likes to experiment with anything that's not circle strafe the game, and Tin Gazebo needs really little introduction. And Nirvana, of course, also does interesting kind of slaughtery maps. So I have no doubt this is an interesting slaughter map set for sure. And then we have Arceon. Oh, this is something I was asked to... This is something that caught my attention because someone was saying this is DM Phobos' debut map set or something like that. Or at least on their own. I know that they've contributed to a lot of community projects and so forth. I knew of DM Phobos as a community project sleeper, patiently at work on the Doom 3 inspired Dark Moon, but meanwhile chipping in with highlights to projects like Mayhem 2019 and Map Witch 2. Maps united by skilled craft, flowing layouts, thrilling fights, and dusky moods. If it's not clear which phase of gameplay Arceon loves most, it's because it fully commits to everything it does. and embraces freeform combat inspiring metal shells for internet theory, outfitted with all sorts of windows and ramps and gaps to jump over. A modern industrial take on the way out above all tradition. These spaces are sophisticated enough in their makeup and monster use to support engaging methodical play, allowing all the open lanes and general supplies to bold play to be rewarded. I'm sorry there's a lot of reading for you guys to listen to. But every so often, the gears shift to electrified choreographed fights that would be right at home in a combat goal, and every so often, when you're trained through quiet space expecting nothing, the world's underlying machinery simply knows. Every phase has that thrust over quality to monster use that hints at thoughtful refinement in how stealths bend in response to many different tactics. In this versatility, it all gives the impression of being lovingly laboured over, a feeling that holds a strong way with the visual craftsmanship. With all the twisting metal and the glowing alien skies, the appeal can be like that of Batsanix or Yukiro's Agnorosis. In either combat, the visuals become a gentle backdrop, and when you slow down, there is much to unpack and admire in its clean and meticulous way everything is built. Seen to write postcards of graceful understatements, where every beam and swab fits together just so. Welcome to DM Phobos, I guess. And then we have Unhallowed by Sino-Blidron, a single map for Boom. Indeed, sweeping deep within the marble, wood and rock of this place lies a foul evil that must be... That must be eradicated before it completely consumes everything in its wake. Awoken by forces that may never be known to us. Despite the gentle earthly tone to this mysterious compound, there is nothing gentle about Cyano's epic one-map wonder. Faces etched into stone peek from behind verdant greenery as you make your way up the first set of well-worn marble stairs, catching your first glimpse of something greater, a great tree sitting in the center of a vibrant oasis. From there, deep, dark caves hold secrets guarded fiercely by Hell's Denizens, making the task of finding your way through this sometimes labyrinthian place less than easy, but well worth the effort. Despite the grandness of the scenery in the sightlines of the map, Cyano ensures no space is wasted, creating combat encounters both terrifyingly claustrophobic or larger scaled, multi-stage fights that, despite their immensity, feel precisely choreographed. From the get-go, there is no time wasted showing the map's teeth, Cyano making smart use of vertical space and circuits to create a simple yet elegant encounter, mixing imps in a single art file. The map's general openness often works to its advantage to this end, the art file sprinkled throughout the map, able to create all kinds of extra chaos, doing their damnedest to ensure that you never reach the end. While this is only a single map, it is within itself quite the journey, taking its time without meandering too much or feeling uneven in pace. Although it is structured in a relatively arena-to-arena type fashion, there is plenty of variance in the way each arena is structured to feel fresh and new each time. Some even implementing an interesting puzzle-like structure that requires precise and decisive movements. It's certainly got something for everyone, and Cyano has done well to balance the map. This map, creating a unique and challenging experience for both experienced and amateur players alike. It's a nice picture there. And then, yes, finally! This is the only Cacaward that I was told about a few hours ago. But holy shit, yes, abso-fucking-lutely this belongs in this fucking list. I have no idea. Episode 1 by Carger. Hell yes. This could have been included in this if it had been applicable. This would have been in last year's Cacowards. But absolutely fucking deserves a spot as a runner-up, no less. But yes, hell yes, I've advocated for this to be a Cacaward above all else that I've played recently. There's no fucking way that you can ignore this one. And Kraja finally has some long-deserved vindication for their efforts. And it's actually good to see that this gets recognised, because honestly, Kraja is a fucking talented mapper. If you've seen any of the stuff that they've done with this and the episode 2 stuff, there's no way you can just simply discount Kraja as just another UDMF mapper. Kraja is a ridiculously talented UDMF mapper with lots of experience in Unreal Tournament mapping, but also Doom. And definitely they are working on episode 2 of this. I am so glad that Kraja has received some recognition, because they honestly are really good. Early on, I Have No Idea presents itself as an effect showcase, and the rain and the rolling fog of the moonlit city which encircle a corpse-laden parking lot you certainly don't belong in definitely sell that impression. But as pretty as showy as this is, there is more to it. Absolutely. The first hints might be after you shoot barrels to blow a hole in the building's door and squeeze in, to the sight of arcade game terminals behind all the rubble and eerie desolation of the lobby. The blue key, oddly unguarded, opens a cozy power terminal where a full marine lies near a toolbox. Tiny sector detail screwdrivers scattered around. A small drawer open to a vice handcrafted to surprising detail. In another room, domestic objects like books and clocks and coffee mugs are still present, but their owners are dead, and the question of what went down is temporarily answered when zombies start reanimating off the lobby floor. And this is just one of the 2 briefer tone stairs leading up to the expansive non-linear adventure at the heart of the mystery. I Have No Idea is so compelling because it feels like every slice of the experience was painstakingly outfitted with reasons to entertain. Emanated by the creative energy present in the best of Vanilla and Zayden alike, it all really takes off in Silent Omega, where during quiet moments you can submerge in the creepy Doom 64-like ambience. The glowing lights, the visual views, the hums and thrums of unseen machinery, the gory props that hint at and flesh out some darker story. These moments are bound to be interrupted though, and in Kraja's pyrotechnic world, monster closets don't simply spring open schematically. Your pursuers are so eager they break through the walls, leaving rubble and dust in their wake. Mankibai fall from the ceiling and flatten metal beams with their weight. These dramatic entries seg into battles that might have been thoroughly afterthoughts in the late 2000s equivalents of this mod. Here they are well-paced counterparts for Kraja's punchy new weapons. The 3D web of metal bars and steel sealed glass tunnels far above the ground aren't just for show. You occasionally navigate them and even move the architecture around as stuffed spatial puzzles. The pyrotechnics are periodically offset by cute gizmos and Easter eggs that I couldn't help but quip for friends. But these detours don't undercut the darker parts of the mood either, because what could be creepier in a deeply human world, all of its cherished trinkets still intact, being run by a mystifying evil. I already do EPA. Absolutely. I am so glad personally that this received recognition. If this had not been included, I would have complained about this in this stream. You know, honestly, you need to play this map. You need to play this map set. If you haven't played I Have No Idea episode 1, fucking play it. It's brilliant. You know, it's very creative, it's very cool, it's very atmospheric, and you will see exactly a lot of the creative shit that Kraja has got up to. It's good. It's good stuff. Right, I'm going to get myself another drink. Thank you if you've been with me this long for this weird drunkenness of a Cacowards assessment stream. I will be back in another moment with another drink. Feel free to get your own in the chat if you want to. You know, it is a bit late probably for some of you. Maybe for some of you it's like the evening starting, you know. Do what you need to do. I'll be back in a moment. Be right back. Hey, I'm back. Hi. Hey, Francis, thanks for the 28 bits. Any notable reactions from Sweet to page 1? Well, I expected Heartland to get an award, obviously. But this, I was really cool to. I didn't know this existed. And I'm gonna add that to my immediate playlist. And then the rest of the stuff is like, alright, it's something. But yeah. Okay, sorry everyone. I do apologise. I'm a bit drunk, obviously. So you have to forgive me. Alright, page 3 of the Cacowards. Doom 2 in Spain only. Perhaps not surprised this got a Cacaward either. This was an interesting thing that came out this year. Tarsman et al. No, I did page 2 just before, Francis. This is my second break from the stream. In March, new user Trustworthy Software unloaded a megawatt on the forums, proudly bragging with the help of Google Translate that it has 32 exciting new levels of construction. These famous authors used it to create Juan Romero, L. Pedersen, and South America McGee. The suspiciously appealing screenshots and knowing replies from longtime members quickly tipped off that Trustworthy Software was a front for Tarnsman, deep in the last act of showing how ridiculously far it'd go to flush out a silly concept. Yeah, I was glad to see I Have No Idea, episode 1, getting a runners-up, Francis. It might sound absurd, but a throwaway put on Doom 2 in name only really did give life to a whole megawatt. One that opens with salsa variants of Doom 2 music and mangled map names like Entrada and El Foco. Yeah, this was something I saw as an inspiration to something I played recently. You know, people like this word. Doom 2 in Spain only. As surprised as some foregoers were, Tarzan had one last trick to spring. This Doom 2 bootleg was one of the most well-rounded experiences of the year. While playing, if you're curious about the map names and translating them in reverse, you spot that the butchering is used for more than quick laughs. That is the inner beauty of Doom 2 in Spain only, and what immediately makes it so clever. The twisted names inform the map's broad gimmick or angle, which then shapes the structure or gameplay of props. Along the way, Desert Spain bleeds into the overall look and world building through earthy tones and gritty surfaces, and lots of wine. Throughout this, everything retains the stamp of the original map slot, sometimes in a loose physical sense and sometimes through a metaphor or unexpected reference, sometimes even through a relentless, ruthless dunk. There's a lot going on and somehow it feels effortless. A simple example is how the inmost dens becomes Los Antros Mos Intimos, the most intimate clubs. A water stronghold broadly similar to the original but with more tightly scaled and home to what else but a dance club with small, hard-adorned bedrooms. Use your imagination. The world play peaks in the super secret map, which is literally a play on words. Everyone in the song christening it has been translated into a gameplay scenario, which, not surprisingly, is often ridiculous. Although let's be real, it's really fucking funny too. So, yeah, this is I imagine a lot of you in the chat have played this one. Doom 2 in Spain only, right? I know, I remember seeing the old stream about it. It seemed like a rather gimmicky thing, but people said they did like this one. So, you know. It may be a joke, but it's a joke with a lot of substance to it, I suspect. Atmospheric extinction. Let me check something real quick if you don't mind. Okay, no, never mind. It's not what I thought it was. I played the first 3 maps pretty nice. So, I will look for Atmospheric Extinction by Velvetic. In the throes of a dying world, the void threatens to swallow it whole. The atmosphere around it closing tighter and tighter. As extinction follows this journey through many different places, from rustic and futuristic or becoming overgrown and overtaken by nature, in some cases something much more sinister. As I said, Francis, I was surprised that Intergalactic Xenology had a sequel, which I may consider playing at some point, and page 2 had I Had No Idea as a runner-up, which I kind of knew already, thanks to Kraja telling me. I'm very pleased that Kraja received that runners-up prize. And that's really it, as far as I can tell. My 8th pint of the evening, by the way, this drink. From the get-go, Velvetic wastes no time ensuring that these maps not only look amazing, but sets up strong combat viz. Not to my knowledge, Francis. But sets up strong combat and is equal parts challenging and bouncing. Obviously, I won't surprise Heartwind Gar Award, naturally. Ebbing and flowing in excellent pace within the scale of the maps, from the epic sightlines of royalty to the tenseness of the 12 angry Archvow's monarchs? Interesting play on the bot. A valiant name there, I guess. Every map brings fresh combat to configurations, from claustrophobic holes with a well-placed hits counter wide. Two wide grand marble arenas that throw the kitchen sink at you. Not only did Velvetic create great combat and visuals, he also created a great OST. Nice. That was a major Halloween. Whoa. That is a seriously cool looking screenshot right there. It looks like something that might have been part. It looks like it also does like so. It also does look like something that would have not looked out of place in Eve Eternity. But nevertheless, a very cool looking screenshot here. I would think, chat. Yeah? Alright, so another winner was Infrared Colma Moonlight by Stormcatcher. It may well be 2021's worst kept secret, but this has been a packed year for Doom mods. Such a wide range of different maps and mods makes it hard to determine what to play, where I want to come back to. So what if I told you that Infrared Colma Moonlight is so outstanding that, for a very brief moment, it might make one forget that every other 2021 release has ever existed? Extinction and Harold should have exchanged places between mainland and up in your opinion. Okay, Francis. The first location you'll be whisked away to is fun of starting your adventure is a series of caves that go every which way. But as you go around, up and about, you'll be quickly coming to realize the scale of the structure you're visiting. A giant tower encased in stone, forever floating in the purple sky. Verticality is named the game here, as tunnels eventually give way to the tower's external platforms and interior hallways, all beautifully constructed through portals, 3D floors, and pure mapping wizardry. Above all else, Colma Moonlight's greatest triumph lies in now its unorthodox progression that gets in the way of intelligent layout construction, non-linear exploration, and well-paced fights. In fact, it complements them all. The rooms are ultimately logically interconnected and painless to navigate, not to mention stunningly beautiful. The dazzling interiors are already breathtaking, the fighting work masterful throughout, and the sheer scale of the external areas contain some of the better scenic views in recent memory. Certainly looks very nice from the picture there. Stormcatcher 77 is always impressed with the extreme versatility as a mapper, and if Infraworld the Hate Hammer was an excellent start to the series, Colma Moonlight truly propels it to untold heights. Should you decide to visit this fascinating realm, the ascent to the Great Tower is bound to become one of your more unforgettable journeys for this year and hopefully for years to come too. Well done to Stormcatcher, a very promising GTG mapper. And a runner-up prize here for URE 2020 by Zilda Katse for Ultimate Doom Vanilla. Unexpected retro experience. Few titles so accurately and succinctly describe their host material. While Zilda Katsei's unique masterpiece is certainly unexpected, undeniably retro, and very much an experience. Early last year, Zilda Katsei, all with Montil's and a quarter century of hindsight, set about a grand reimagining of his old world. A holistic transformation ensued, touching every aspect of the source material. High concepts were retained, but their physical manifestation was altered significantly, in some cases beyond the point of recognition. Barren, flat-lit rooms overhauled into immaculately detailed and illuminated spaces. Brutalist astral edifices reshaped into subtle naturalistic landscapes. Naturalist landscapes and naive, unfocused layouts refined and originally I said originally, fucking hell. Going too fast. And organically expanded into interconnected, thematically holistic spaces. In the course of its transformation, Doom's limited texture palette was stretched to its limits, coaxed into portraying all manner of gizmos and environments, betraying a fanatical attention to detail on the part of the author that touches every facet of the site's design, and execution. The end result of this transformation is one of my favourite WASD released this year. A wonderful adventure spanning 9 varied maps and a range of familiar alien locales. Each map is a distinct experience in length, difficulty, and especially theme. Some like Map 1 are brilliant examples of pseudo-realism. Spaces so grounded in their presentation that they often feel almost like real places, whilst retaining the appealing abstraction that It Tech 1 is so adept at fostering. Others, such as M6, are far more abstract, intent on tormenting the player with their otherworldly design and deranged gimmickry. Unexpected Retro Experience 2020 is a truly unique work, a reimagining of an antediluvian artifact, recontextualizing age-old design sensibilities into a work of progressive retro media, innovative in its embrace of limitation, and a testament to the author's visionary mind. Sounds like a proper good classic Ultimate Doom WOD to me. Watching this here. And then we have a main prize for Arrival by Pavera, a Doom 2 with living 9-map episode. Pavera's output has long been a tease. Over the last 10 years, it has released a great deal more than 10 maps, mid-length lumps spread throughout works like Batman X and Doom the way it did. 2 standalone maps in 2017 that will later become part of Arrival were a tantalizing hint at the future, and for many the first that's kept manageable. But not fully satisfied with another pearl in last year's syringe. Well, for you Pavera junkies and those who don't know who you are one yet, that long wait is over. What makes Arrival magical is how unconscious playing can be. How can so many threads of the game's raw appeal are united in one smooth experience? Like some bigger, badder take on classic Doom, Doom 2 the way it did forms upscale to imposing monoliths. You're cruising through these tangled paths with more supplies than you can waste, with one bloody melee obstructing into another. The atmosphere is crushing as the early facilities and their cooler colours shift with passing days to shadowy ruins of wood, metal and dirt, and finally to bleaker, more hostile forms, bastions bound by lava or transient to flesh. Little ever holds Pavera back. There's something just unconscious but unself-conscious about all this, the way he delights in joyfully chaotic brawls that are pretty much engineered to be dopamine rushes. Playing can be euphoric like an eternal thrill ride. Across all the peaks and valleys, intensity becomes a greater rhythm and song. You feel how some maps climax in the middle and then descend gently like coders. How some handle in mellowness until flowing into sharp, debauched bursts. How some start hot and keep rising and rising and rising. At the end of his journey, you can look up the green sun over the barren world and feel that what has arrived is not just Bavaria's one coveted homecoming, but a promise present when one original game finally fulfilled. Because though the more materials are hardly new, the wisdom brought to it bear is a modern artifact. And at the top of it, Arrival stands as one of the best works ever at letting you revel in the simple joys of the Doom engine. And then a runner-up prize for Old Still Life by Rednov. Emerging on Heralded Dark, the inky black, Old Still Life is a fascinating blend of influences both old and new. Rednov's keen eye for lighting, texture selection and baroque representation of detail, combined with a thoroughly grim and despondent mood, reminiscent of Russian surrealism, aka Sacrament or Alt. Played Alt. In its era of post-apocalyptic desolation, through the aesthetic bent here is more persistently gothic in tone. One of the most unrepentantly gloomy presentations of recent memory is in both a very literal sense and an emotive one. The map set's atmosphere is thick with foreboding and an ever ethereal, soulful quality, and above all, the travels of navigating its vexing labyrinths hangers a powerful impression on this game. Well, that you're not the hero here. Arrival is a great OST too. I tested Color Moonlight. You think it's great geometry? Yeah, you said that before, Francis. Thank you. That is provided you can figure out how to depart. 8-pint Suitepee versus a Demon of the Well paragraph for the epic struggle. Yeah. And you thought my visual novel reading was a lot. So I'm trying to cut when I can, you know. I know I'm going for like an hour plus now. Damn it, do it again, sorry. That is provided you can figure out how to depart the remote space station where it all begins. Or hell, how to leave even the very first area. While its overall character is amorphous and difficult to pin down, Old Still Life is arguably a puzzle set foremost. And wanderers drawn to its depth will eventually find themselves drifting from place to place in search of progress, like forgotten ghost in sense of reasons. Sweet, turn off your drunk switch, please. Hey, thanks 100 bits, Ward Misfit. I can't do that. I need to do... If I want to turn off my drunk switch, I would need to go to sleep. Go to bed. And then sleep for several hours and stuff. I will do that later. Okay? I'll do it later. Shut up. Whatever. So there's a puzzle map set to all this. The nature of the riddle varies. Many are pure navigational or oriented in nature, but some involve ciphers or codes, while others require acute perception of minute visual clues or a keen recognition of opportunities for traversing an environment in unconventional ways. Now, I'll probably still choose to do the same thing, Lord Misfit. So, Old Still Life sounds like puzzles, map set, maybe slightly inspired by FCFF, maybe? I don't know, but cool that someone else is doing puzzle map sets that's not Dolby or Rubik's, I guess. This contrast is genuinely affecting. To a modern and casual audience, Doom is conceived as primarily as a power fantasy, and even one-sided content tends to revolve heavily around the axis of mechanical and tactical mastery, and the empowerment and confidence that comes with them. Old Still Life is different, and will remind you of something that many of us who spent our lives inhabiting the realm of Doom here have all but forgotten. What it feels like to be, well, doomed. Alright, cool. That's page 3. I'll go on to page 4. So, we are getting there, obviously. Rubik's did get a joint Caco this year regardless. It's an odd number, so whoever doubted he would. Nobody, probably. Haste by Various. Similar to the Micro Sorter Community Project which emerged early this year. Hey Miyagi TV, how's it going? I'm going through the Cacowards. I'm now on page 4. Similar to the Micro Sorter Community Project which emerged early this year, the aim in Haste was for a coven from the more shadowy recesses of the Doom scene to channel a tiny little grimoire of challenge maps that not only could be finished under 10 minutes apiece, but also be approachable for the players who don't necessarily live from brief hardcore gameplay every making moan to their bedeviled lives. Unlike with its slightly older sibling, however, which managed to keep its demons either mostly in check or at least carefully locked away in secret slots where only fools and lunatics would find them, in Haste's case, something went awry during conjuration, resulting in a set that mostly adheres to its initial aims of compactness while quickly wandering to places much weirder in its form and more sinister in intent, making for one of the most exquisitely composed sets of its type. While built foremost for speed and fluidity as an imposed rather than an imposing display of ominous grandeur, Haste is nonetheless lavished with a great deal of care for aesthetics, with results as richly appointed as an Elizabethan devil worshipper's prayer book. Hiking on a more zoomed in physical scale invites the exploration of some offbeat themes, and indeed the variety and fidelity of settings delivered over the course of the set's relative succinct lifetime is impressive. What's the description to the statistics there? And a cool picture there, I have to say. Looks nice. The action itself is equally diverse in texture. Scory's maps are very immediate, tight-knit affairs, heavy on raucous point-blank brawls that are approachable and straight to the point without sacrificing intensity. Insane gazebos, characteristically expansive style, and emphasis on insidiously complicated terrain proves to be quite adaptable to a normal to an intimate scale, where death is quite literally almost close at hand. Kindred in spirit and crafting and experience as such. Kindred in spirit to crafting experience as much as out of perplexing geometry as out of tangle with bloodthirsty monsters. The Varna's Perventures focuses on creating distinctly poignant scenes that read like subtly Escurian shadow boxes. Serenely straddling the line between the set's dual sensibilities is genre veteran Rubik's, whose first map is a highly atmospheric, even cozy little outing, and whose second is a grueling hill climb that's howling yet slightly irrelevant. Archie of Rush fame makes a special guest appearance with a blood-spared fantasy fortress burning the lines between Dream and Nightmare, while Arch Weirdomancer How you like that name, Benjo? How's that for your name, man? You're an Arch Weirdomancer. Now. Boop, 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 boop. Offers an unsettlingly abstract ordeal that feels like scurrying as a mouse through the sub-basement of eternity, desperately trying to avoid awakening whatever might be something there. Yeah, Weirdomancer, that sounds about right. Finally, Bemused. Hey, Bemused. If you're still here, brings the ritual to an unforgettable finish with a pair of maps that both look and feel like the most intimate personal histories of medieval torture devices made manifest. Truly something grand in a substantially stored package. Haste is inspired and engrossingly eclectic in both mechanical design and emotive tone from start to finish, and offers something for everyone in a surprisingly approachable yet wholly authentic hardcore gameplay idiom. If you've ever been skeptical of the deeper and darker end of the Doom pool, or felt that it's always business as usual with challenge-oriented fairies, might just be one to change your mind. Alright, cool. And then, yes, down the drain! Down the drain! Got a runners-up prize. Something I've also played this year, which I'm also glad got some recognition. Not that Benjo Garmy was lacking it, to be fair, but you know. Down the Drain was a fun map set for me. One of the year's strangest releases by far. Down the Drain warrants some explanation, but I'll warn you up front that this is likely to be the sort of release that you'll have the purest experience of, the less you know about it beforehand. Absolutely. The set is glibly presented like one of the compendium megawads of Doom antiquity. An assortment of unweighted maps from all the various personal websites, BBSs, shovelware collections, compiling to a single WAD file often by someone known as Answer Body. The Zoom compilations were both grab bags and snapshots in the truest sense, and looked at today as something like ancient insect trapped in amber, recalling a primordial shape of creative life in the community now buried by time and dust. As a modern interpretation of this form, Down the Drain showcases a plethora of original specimens that will be familiar to any Doom paleontologist worth their salt. Here we see, among others, a World War I trench-themed map, a post-lobotomy iWAD remix or two, a multitude of maps that look like something in automap view, except for our design restressing in tone, from memory recreations of PWAD relics in the the Raven series, a number of ancient death match map references, none of which you will see in actual MP rotation today because none of them are remotely functional as DM maps in practice, and quite possibly the most demented take on a Go To It style secret map one could have the dubious pleasure of uncovering, all of them rendered in earnest lo-fi glory. Surprisingly, there is no Nine House map, though there are a couple of Townville maps which arguably covered over space by hosting a number of main houses within themselves. Yeah. I wonder if that Go To It map is Demon of the World referencing that World Orifice tribute map there in this thing? The one with all the weird grid rooms and the fucking hordes and shit like that. Hey, a mission from Dog. I am having fun. I'm a bit drunk and I'm reading Cacowards because fun, right? He is oh, that fucking map. Oh, that map is very memorable, but not always for the best reasons. But, well, it's a thing, I guess. Knowing this, actually playing through the set is not quite the experience one may expect, however. Soon enough, the zany 90s practical gives way to stranger and stranger fare, carrying a marked shifting tone towards awkward, eerie silences, pervasive darkness, ominously overscaled spaces, and increasingly bizarre, illogical progression scheme. Demons pour from every crack and cranny, and the progressively dysfunctional architecture begins to practically breed ghosts, sometimes literally. The superficial silliness of the map sets scattered narrative interludes. Sorry everyone. I'm starting to lose it a little bit. I do apologize. So the bottom line is, Down the Drain is pretty good. You know, I mean, it's 1 in the morning here. Shut up. The bottom line is, when I played Down the Drain, I knew it was quite a unique experience because it was kind of like combining 90s mapping traits with modern era sensibilities, And that's exactly what Benjo achieved with the map set. And it was kind of fun in a way, for the most part, including elements of cryptic progression and yet being that element of creativity. It was quite unique, and I'm kind of glad it got a runners-up, to, Benjo, so congrats on that. And then this one is Infested Episode 1 by Jink. Demon Be Gone. Imps, Pinkies, Zombies, and more. As a Demon Be Gone employee, you're exterminated to hire to clean out demon colonies and the Cacowards masses of disembodied flesh. Ooh, sorry. Sorry again. You don't create the skill continued. This extremely relatable premise, who hasn't had a summer job as a kid doing exactly that, belongs to an unexpected gem as Jinx Infested. Before it received any community buzz, all of us who played it had loved it. If you've never wondered why it truly comes along with a baby Caco demon, meh! Not you, you're not a baby, Cherry. Here's where to start. Sort of a demented love child of Moldy's going down and Jaska's lost civilization? Wow, that's a bold claim. Invested promised a comic tone early that it emphatically delivers on, including some serious backwards communication channels for our lead character and lobby posters that announce an art expedition with real objects swiped from Doom 2's hellish invasion. I sure wonder why this building got plagued. These early stops are imaginative enough. It's hard to anticipate a much higher gear, but Jink goes just there in the impressively intricate tower, which is part of his building, part Bukemo, and like multiple floors of going down stacked into one multiplex. Homages and references show up regularly, yet can be subsumed so fully into the story you feel they were made specifically for Infested's own tale. Despite no live humans in sight, although there's a cafe with a donut stand, the building still stands. The sorry, I lost my place there for a second. The building still holds the stories of their own presence, what might have gone wrong, and the future you are trying to restore. Each floor has identity that is a character in itself, including a Fire Blue branded storage company. Fire Blue branded storage company, cool. An opulent top floor that holds some goofily ostentatious interior decorating. The way these identities mix goes beyond creating a sense of place. It creates a sense of a world alive with real activity. Will you stop it, bored misfit? It doesn't require the long face all the time. Stop it! Everything is fine. I'm good. All of that alone will make Infested deeply interesting, but what seals the deal is that it's quite fun to play too. For more civilization inherits not just a doom cute and pseudo-realistic sea touches, but also a fulfilling backbeat of exploration, now in a more vertical sense. Alright, cool. So that sounds pretty fun. By G Inc. Cool. And then we have Deadly Standards 3 by Walter Confetti et al. As a runners-up prize. Ultimate Dune, moving 9 maps. Inferno is a chaotic realm, a mishmash of themes and ideas unified by a common thread of twisted, otherworldly logic, diverse in its manifestation but single in its malign intent. Deadly Standards 3 follows gleefully institution by allowing each author to wave their own tapestry of torment to take the set's overarching void hell aesthetic and make it their own. There is always a wild, divergent yet strangely cohesive set of mind concept-orientated maps from an eclectic collection of authors representing a variety of skill levels and proclivities. Sorry, I'm just So basically a lot of interesting varied experiences is required. Variety, as they say, the spice of life, and David Stone's 3 has variety in spades. While any given player is unlikely to enjoy every map, they are also unlikely to finish without having clicked at least one of the set's offerings. They may even find themselves a new favourite, as I did. Infested sound like a sweet must play. Maybe. I'll put it into consideration. I mean, I still need to play Elevator, of course, from my list. That also sounds like it's right up my alley. The going down S stuff. Sorry, back to this one. So that's Devastation's 3, and then sorry, I'm sort of skimming over that. My apologies, but it sounds like a fun map set. 1000 Lines Community Project 3. I'm kind of glad this got a Cacoward because 1K Lines 3 was pretty good. The best in the series by far. And a very interesting project for map 30 alone, quite honestly. Of the countless community projects released this year, 1K Lines 3 stands tallest among them in my view, a set far greater than the sum of its disparate parts, made strong by the caliber of its participants and bound together by an overarching strength of vision. Restriction does not define the set as does the series' previous entries, serving instead as an antidote to the dreaded magnum opus syndrome, as well as driver of innovation and experimentation. Yes, 1K Lines 3 was the best and I'm glad it got some recognition. Despite challenges posted by the namesake limitation and adherence to the limits, 1K Lines 3 is among the most striking applications of O-Text I've seen this year, with an unusual sense of groundness that runs contrary to the colourful abstraction that defines the majority of the resource's manifestation. In the course of your journey across 1K Lines, many offerings, you will bow your way through the Witherspoon, neon-drenched underbelly of the decaying Martian metropolis, buckle through the castles, manors, and caverns and cities of the world's old world's 16th history. Plunge deep into the verdant jungles, vine-choked ruins, underground volcanoes, and super-secret bases of a comically tropic rendition of Earth's tropics. We are finally piercing through the veil of reality and plummeting into the heart of the malign, void-born god machine underlying it all. Yeah, another thing, 1K Lines had 3 good episode themes in it. Opposing you in your quest to return home is the vanilla rose gallery of dastardly Denizens of damnation, some of which who remain along in cosmetic surgery, supplemented by a handful of complimentary new faces, one for each episode. And one thing about 1K Lines 3 that it also did well is that it introduced each new enemy very well. You know, it would have been very easy to introduce a new enemy, a slightly adjusted enemy very poorly, but each of the episodes of 1K Lines 3 introduced its enemy quite early on and allowed players to get used to seeing it more regularly throughout the map, and none of the custom enemies in 1K Lines 3 felt unbalanced or out of place, which is quite a compliment because it's not always easy to get a ward in with custom enemy adjustments working as is. You know, sometimes you just have that one monster that's a little too overpowered that ruins it for the rest of the enemies, vanilla and otherwise composition and map set. You have played map sets like that, I'd imagine, in the chat, right? A map set that promises some interesting custom enemies, and they turn out to be either overpowered or insignificantly futile. And then you wonder why they're there in the first place. But in the case of 1K Lines 3, they did a good job. This combined with the restriction induced by the average map gives a set a brisk pace, pushing the player from the exotic locale to exotic locale, keeping the experience fresh and entertaining all the way through to the end. Weaker entries flash by in the blink of an eye, allowing the standout maps to define one's perception of the set, minimizing the biggest downside of the community project approach, while retaining the variety hour element that makes it appealing to begin with. Underscoring this great adventure is a masterful and largely spoke OST, courtesy of 8079, Dragonfly, Everswong and Cyrus, conspiring a veritable treasure trove of rich, emotive tracks, all of which greatly elevate the great maps doomed to a borderline transcendental extent. I expect to hear many of these tracks again and again in the years to come. Complementing a range of experiences as of yet unimagined. Due to set not by its stringent limitations, be a reader, for it is undoubtedly one of the most consistently engaging and enjoyable releases of this most bounteous of years, and a testament to the skill and imagination of its own contributors. I'd agree, 1K Lines 3 is fucking good. Go and play it if you've not played it before. And then a runners-up prize for something called Ogre Zenith by various moving 22 maps. Members of the Doom community found great joy uncovering and posting graphical glitches and gameplay bugs they found while playing the biggest cyberpunk release of the year. Yes, CD Projekt Red rushed their flagship title, resulting in a project that was riddled with life of errors. All Zenith was on the other hand was a delightful romp for a futuristic neon hellscape. One of the benefits of the Doom engine is the relative ease with which creators can build maps, but any of these developers will tell you id Tech 1 is not particularly good at replicating convincing real-world environments, as Doom 2's Downsound is happy to demonstrate. This might be why I love the aesthetic of August Zenith so much. The best maps in this one attempt to stimulate real place with apropos Doom cute details. But because the authors are working on a cyberpunk theme, really more of an emotional appeal than rigid characteristics, each author is allowed the creative freedom to build maps that feel uniquely abstract and futuristic. How would you feel about that in the chat if anyone who stuck around for this drunken stream sort of thing, I guess. Wait, what the fuck am I saying? Oh, fucking hell, I've lost what I was going to say there whatsoever. Please ignore me. I don't know what I was even saying. Sorry, everyone. Yeah, I'd heard discussion about this yesterday. You might have read it up, Francis, saying that because this is a DVP sort of thing, that whether it was mentioned, but there it is. Mentions of super cupcake tactics, lunches, you know. August Zenith was one of the most highly nominated projects of 2021. Add this one to your playlist and don't let it get lost in the deluge of releases from this year, like Tears in the Rain. Yeah, it's described as a sort of cyberpunk WOD, isn't it? You know, the cyberpunk. I think that was described as a very cyberpunky type WOD, I believe. Interesting. Alright. So those are the, that's the 12, we've got the runners up here. And I guess we'll go on to the special features now. See what that consists of. No contest. Oh god. This year, Jimmy, whose nickname as the MIDI guy, fits even better when he realizes he's actually a MIDI file that became Animate, which is 15th year in the community. And Tarzan, this year's Creator of the Year, who also moves as a Mountain Connoisseur, reaches 10th. Instead of demanding gifts at BHG Point, they celebrate with mapping contests. I know Jimmy did a contest, I didn't realize Tarzan did one as well. Huh. Okay. I didn't realize that Jimmy and Tarzan both would release mapping contests this year. Kind of cool though, I guess. And then we have Mapping Godspeed. The art of speed mapping has been a long-running tradition amongst both amateur and experienced mappers alike, weaving either incredible arena set pieces or ridiculous memes in the span of 2 hours a week. However long the organizer chooses, speed mapping has become a great way for various factions of the Duke community to come together and knock out some maps. 3 such events including Puss, Ass, and Hellford's speed mapping sessions. Puss and Ass and Hiss. Puss, Ass, Hiss. Yeah, speed mapping is still alive and well, pretty much, I would say. You know? Not much else to say on that front, I would think. Speed mapping is alive and well in the Doom community, and honestly, it's a good thing, I think. You know? What can be said? Sorry, I'm not going to go through a lot of this. It's been nearly 2 hours. I'm slowly losing some cognitive abilities, you know, but generally it's nice to see that speed mapping getting a bit of a recognition, because speed mapping is a fun thing in the Doom community, you know. It's fun. Shut up, Bemused. Then we have On Ramp. Oh man, Ramp. God, Ramp. Man, Ramp seems like it would be quite an interesting project to play through, but it's gonna be a long one if I ever get around to it. It's so lengthy, but I really like the idea of Ramp. Don't get me wrong. The size of Ramp might be the most immediately and mind-boggling part. It pulled in 200 submissions, far surpassing even other massive all-comers beginners projects like Drive Mapping 6 and Dump 3, which were already notoriously taxing to organise. But it doesn't stop there. Within just a few months, project lead David N had diligently commentated every map for his YouTube channel, and commentated for everyone to receive feedback in the wild. Good job, David N. That's a pretty cool thing to do, honestly. Yeah. I mean, the Doom World Maximum project will also be interesting to see come out next year. You know, with all the many people that have contributed to that project. I mean, if not for my sudden U-turn on mapping skill, I would have contributed to that project too, but not to be. I might still be interested to see what comes out of the Doom World Maximum project when it's finished. But Ramp is seems like a nice project in itself. The sheer length of it is the only reason why I haven't probably played it already. But I might get around to it eventually. It looks a fun project and right up my alley kind of thing, I think. But yeah. It was nice that a lot of people took part in Ramp. Good shit. And then we have promising newcomers. Delwich and Darby from Pink Kitty Rose, who I know is a pretty popular streamer of sorts. She does her retro games. She does her Doom. And, you know, seems like she's pretty good at the retro scene, which is cool. And then there's BRL's Attack on IO. Was a hit on Doom World partially for its punishing close quarters combats. Tense space crawls, evil traps, bloody mosh pits that manages to be enjoyable to a wide range of players, which is no small feat. And then Orc's Breath, many brief standalone maps. Wait, I think I might have played one of these maps by Orc's Breath. It sounds like a familiar name to me. Ward Entropy's The Hate Flow. Nice. Regular Warren's debut assembly line and Astral Abstraction. I've not played one of those. MX Bubble 49's Dynamic Destruction, which is a stock textured Mega Ward. NFL Beta's Mucus Empire. Vortal. Vortal got a mention for his just a map set creation. Oh my god. What will Vortal be thinking of that, I wonder? Although from what I've seen of just a map set E1's maps, the very little I've seen, Vortal's put a lot of good effort into those maps, to be fair. It might be worth checking out at some point, we'll have to see. Okay, don't sweep me. Don't sweep, John. Don't sweep. And then Romsu A9's Uvernitz. Using Doom textures to represent unrepresented objects as long as an Intech 1 pastime. Okay, cool. And there appears to be some extra stuff here. Heading to the big time. Talk about Head On, Realms Deep, Age of Hell. Age of Hell by Bridgeburner. Brutal Fate by Sergeant Mark. Surprised by Mechadon. And then all the stuff from the Hellforge Studios, Torcadia, Vomitorium, Project Absantia, The Relentless Frontiers, Sawako, Stellar Valkyrie. A map jam that consisted of a bunch of maps from Ember. Where's the Doom of Snap the Sentinel? It's incredible to see just how much has come out of the Doom community this year. Not just on the normal mapping front, but the incredible work devs have put into transforming the engine into a full game experience beyond the beloved classic. I can't wait to see how all of these projects are realized to their full potential. And into the Abysm as well. And Dara revealed who was doing that kind of stuff, YouTube channel wise. Alright, cool. We're getting there. Bring out a few more pages left to go. 21 more for 2021. What have we got? Nameless by Jimmy. A single map, which is a Lovecraftian fortress, apparently. Gotta have a Jimmy map in there, right? Yeah? You gotta have a Jimmy map in there. Judgment by Razik. 8 years in the making. Judgment is both. Oh, it's that MBF 21. That thing that Heartland popularized. Well, apparently 8 years in the making. Judgment is both an early adopter of the new MBF 1 mapping standard and an omnibus style release, collecting the majority of its author's mapping output for Doom into a complete campaign, chronicling the ill-fated journey of a lost marine from Hellscape to Hellscape with only death behind more and nothing but death ahead. Cool. Ultimate Boatward by Scotty Etal. What a name that is. The community project Ultimate Boatward has a simple premise. Make a map with a boat. The immediate draw is seeing all the variations people come up with. From cargo ships in a frozen bay to rusted steamers in the very special liquid to techno-futuristic ships swimming in raw energy to my favourite, a gargantuan mass of flesh and bone that blinks at you when you set upon it in an abyssal blood sea. A living boat. Yeah, I remember hearing about this from Scotty early in the year. A long trip back home by Hebo, 32 maps. After the triumphant explosion of the boss brain, the Iconos Cinerinas are visited with corpses and detritus. Crumbling through tunnels in the walls, you find chambers that are unsettlingly familiar. Transmitted versions of Map 31 stuck up room that could have easily been all along. Interesting, I suppose. Like a backwards trek through all the Doom maps, maybe? That's an interesting one. Uprising by Cheese Wheel. Okay. Sounds fun. Perpetual Powers by Lorenzo et al. Omega 1 in 3 Star Wars chapters. Colourful, icebound complexes, shrines and fortresses in lush crimson forest, and a desiccated wasteland of a dead world. Perpetual Powers avoids falling into a rut while setting up a deadly dose of rowdy encounters tied together with vital skirmishing. Nice. Suitepee. The follow-up from Elevator, I believe, is it not? Suitepee. That's kind of cool. We've got a special mention here. Nice. Dungeon Simps by Big Old Billy et al. A fresh, fanciful, and original debut release from the freshly minted Duma Boards crew. Dungeon Simps is a delightful musical adventure spanning 9 whimsical maps, and each room with style and effects and beauty for 2 convergent mediums. So I Cryptid and Necro Dancer for Doom. Zone 400 by Peace Off. Yes! Nice! Sucker Punch 2 got mentioned too. That's awesome. By Rook. You know, Rook does some good shit. It's nice to see Rook get a mention here too. You know, Rook has done good maps for quite a few years. Short, punchy, interesting maps. I think you'd agree. You know, if you've ever played a Rook map in Sucker Punch 1 and 2, the short maps are quite good, yeah? Nice to see Rook get some recognition too. Because damn, they're a good mapper as well. Tetra Picton by Demonologists. Soul Mats from Elder Cloth, cool. Ray Mohawk 2. I know a lot of people said that was pretty good. The Zany Wad by Doomkid. Not really played any of those. Ray Mohawk, which is cool. The Micro Slaughter Community Projects by Biao et al. A few of you have said that's pretty decent. Wormwood 3 by Rivix and Grain of Salts. Nice. The previously mentioned Delwish and Darby by Pink Kitty Rose, the VTuber Doom enthusiast. Testing Pool by Yakfak. Sounds interesting. A Doom interchangeable map. A Burgoy Megawad by Decay, Doomkin and Razgriz. No Speed 3. Excuse me. There's quite a few people on Twitch streaming have been playing in the last few weeks or so. No speed maps by some high-end players. Victorism by MGF6 et al. Nice. Architech by RomSue9. The Event Horizon by Killer 5. Otherwise known as Mr. Zool. By their other more popular name. The horror. The Event Horizon is not so much something that you play as a fate that befalls you. Well, M31 is a map, quick, practically designed affair that would fit right in with the author's slightly more jaunty tech-based episode from later in the cycle. And map 32 is very conventional open-end sort of a few skeletons in a closet or rather its basement. The tile map is basically the Macon configuration once again manifested in our reality. This town is a P-wad. Yeah, so that's Mr. Zool map set there, getting some recognition in the Cacowards. Not surprised there, Mr. Zool does do some good maps. then we have some multiplayer awards. Rot Zone by Rock King. Not really my territory, so I'm probably going to skim over this. Sorry, everybody. I'm sorry if you... I don't really do the multiplayer of Doom, so I don't really have a lot of investment in this category. My apologies. But Rot Zone by Rock King. I know who Rock King is. That's nice to see him getting a recognition there, I guess. That looks nice and decorative. We got Insanity Deathmatch by Cacowards 47. This I'm pretty sure is what Bridge Burner and friends have been doing for a while. Ish. When they can. In the Hellforge, I think. So that's cool to see. And then Strife Co-op Prapt Project by Nash. A co-op for Strife. That's an interesting idea in itself, do you not think? Yeah? Interesting idea, I think. A Strife co-op. Huh. It is. Hey Admiral, how you doing? We are going through the 2021 Cacowards, getting here towards the end now. I've had 2 hours of being slightly abbreviated through. I'm actually kind of really happy with these Cacowards, actually. They've contained a couple of things I'd like to have seen and they got in. You know? Nice to see these Cacowards paying off a bit. That's cool. Yeah, okay, shut up. Slime. Ah, goddammit. I'm sorry, everyone. I take another piss. I'll be right back. Alright, hey everyone. Alright, I'm back. I'm really sorry everyone. The alcohol is kicking my ass a bit, but I'm still trying to hang on, guys. I'm trying to hang on for a little bit longer. Alright, so this is the Mod Awards. Pain Slayer, which is Painkiller meets Doom. It's been interesting watching attempts to recreate other games in Doom grow and evolve over the years. It doesn't seem like long ago that we were still looking at gremlin screenshot-based spritifications of 3D models paired with Janky D hacked or even Edge's DDF, taking the community into its wobbly first steps into plain text mod scripting. Yeah, here we are, basically worlds away from its origins, with improvements in both skill and available tools around for pacemaking, gorgeous adaptations that blend one classic into another with a surprising amount of grace, preserving the strong points of both games. All the Gold Play Awards winners and good stuff, yeah. It actually feels like a pretty good Cacowards this year, no, I'd agree. So, Pain Slayer, as the name suggests, transplants the gameplay from 2004's Painkiller, an excellent game, into GZ Doom, and it's quickly clear just how much effort has been put into recreating and imitating the original game's experience, right down to the rotating compass on the HUD. Also used two options like swapping primary and alternate fires on specific weapons are present, and among them is the ability to enable Painkiller style player movements. This feels pretty close to the original, right down to crazy bunny hopping, and really changes the feel of gameplay as you stomp through your favourite map sets. And this is even before factoring in the weapons and the cards. Painkiller's 2400 Doom, yeah. I like Painkiller. The icing on the cake is the tarot card system. At the start of every map, your black tarot card will open when you equip and swap out silver cards for passive boosts and gold cards for active effects you can trigger once per map, with new cards earned by finishing maps or spending the gold you find during play. This adds a bit of extra depth to proceedings, forcing you to weigh up one buff against another in building a deck to fit your playstyle, while also letting you put together your own personal screw you button with which to bear survive massive encounters. Well, massive encounter non-plural, only once per level, remember? Oh, I see. Interesting one, Misfit. Yeah, I saw some of this from your stream, Serious Keko Demon streams, and the idea of combining Painkiller with Doom is an interesting one, to say the least. So congrats on that. We got one by Wide Picks by Nash, which seems to be... What the hell is this? March of 2020 was a uniquely chaotic moment in time. Across the globe, we were frantically trying to grasp the ramifications of a global pandemic and making the best of a tumultuous moment in history. We used the internet to preserve our interpersonal contacts, taking advantage of video streaming, forums and messaging applications to fill the void caused by social distancing, while others used their newfound free time to indulge their creative hobbies. It was in this moment that GZ Doom began incorporating one of the most widely requested missing features: widescreen graphical support. Ports had for years supported widescreen gameplay resolutions, but title intermission and warning screens remain locked at 4:3. This injustice would simply not stand, said Nash. Oh yeah, this widescreen support stuff in the GZ Doom. I remember this being a thing this year. It's kind of cool to see like Hexen and Heretic and stuff get widescreen support. Definitely helps some modern systems there. I don't think there's much else to say. This basically is implying that, Nash and It's honestly nice to see the widescreen support for these things, and good job, Nash. You did good with wide picks. Excellent. And then... Oh! Cutman Mike's behind these? Fucking hell. I didn't realise he was still doing shit. I remember Cutman Mike fondly from the Ghouls Forest 3 and the whole series of Ghouls Forest 3. I didn't realise he was also behind Corruption Cards, which looks a pretty interesting modification. Yeah, I know. I've seen Corruption Cards a few times across different streamers. A good few years ago, there was a burst of small mutated wards for GZ Doom, aka the Unreal Tournament 99 stakes, with a similar aim, small alterations to monster, weapon, or map behaviour to make things interesting without completely changing anything as gameplay mods tend to do. Gonna replay that video again. Yeah, quite a few people have said Corruption Cards is fun. I might try it someday. So yeah, kind of cool to see this get a Cacaward. No idea Cutman Mike was behind it though. Awesome. Again, I don't really have much to say on that. I've seen good gameplay footage of it. Mini-mod Safari, Better Strife, XRPG, Intelligent Supplies, Descent Doom. Okay, so the last page of the Cacowards is Other Awards. More Death Award. Surprise! Release project with the longest development time. Doom 32X Resurrection. Not all of Doom's myriad concept ports were made equal, and while the 32X version wasn't the bottom of the heap, it certainly wasn't near the summit. Rush through development in a total crunch that made require John Carmack to camp out at Sega's headquarters in Redwood City in a bid to hope the launch date for a hardware on it was destined to fail. Okay. And so the 32X version sat for many years as an expensive, slightly bumpy novelty until January when Victor Luchitz and his team emerged out of nowhere with Doom 32X Resurrection, a staggering titan of code sitting somewhere between a ROM hack and a source port. In effort, the entire game engine surrounding 32X Doom has been more or less replaced with a redo based on Jaguar's Doom source code. Partly good soundtrack support. Nice. Odyssey of Noises, best original soundtrack for a Doom project. Hey Obarke, how's it going? We're just going through the last page of the Cacowards. And that's where we got a bit more drunk, but I'm kind of happy with these Cacowards this year. Arrival OST by 8079. Hey Tanaz, how you doing? Actually have to go OST, cool. And over here we have Code Award for Criflab. Rewind Frames. Oh, he's behind those weird states in DSDA Doom and PR Boom. Thinking AI, nice. What is it called? Preserving State or whatever it is? The Rewind State thing? Craft. Rewind Frames. Yeah, that keyframes, that was it. Yeah, the keyframe restored. Basically an emulator style save rewind in Doom. That's kind of an interesting thing, really. It definitely is useful. So that's cool. So on the fly map restarts. Hex and Doom formats. And now he's talking about comp level 21 instead of 11. Mac Award. Most creative, unusual, or artistically compelling project of the year. The Unmaking by Shiba. Ever since Doom 64 was remastered last year, it's an unprecedented resurgence in relevance. Describers the Unmaking concerns 4 levels akin to a box of chocolates. Hey, Mishashi03, thank you for the hosts. I am going through the Cacowards. Last page now. While slightly drunk. I'm doing this for 2 hours somehow. It sounds like it's pretty useful in honesty for me too. Anyone casual, but you know. Keyframes, cool. Oh. Sorry. Oh yeah, this is something that was advertised supposedly on the Doom 64 official thing, but as far as I can tell, never appeared on the Doom 64 official game. But you know. Sounds like a bunch of interestingly scaled Doom 64 maps to me. And there we go. Viewing Dooting. Bunch of recommendations for OST tracks. Hooked on speed. Talking about speedrunner attempts. What's this? I've heard some very positive news. Comment for material as well. Go for something here, and here we go. A new Alice game, maybe. Yeah, I heard about this, and I thought it was going to be part of the official Doom 64 map set, but it isn't. It's its own thing. So, yeah. And then we have Creator of the Year, Tarnsman. Tarzan is the creator of the year, apparently. Some creator of the year stole the scene and claimed the crown of a grand entree that leaves no second guessing. Others forming, growing to several years, gradually forming. Showing a steady learning curve towards greatness. Some return from a weapon haters to a bombastic comeback. Dazzling those with mature confidence of a project that knows what it wants to be. Not yours, though. Oh, sorry, I didn't do that. And there's a very small group of doomed journeymen who seem to take on there since forever, showcasing their skill and brilliance with every contribution they make. Except those dripping slowly, spread between various community projects, speedrunning sessions, and secret unreleased megawads. Members of the Swag Squad often garners everyone's respect for a long time, but pinning them down to a certain extent tends to be futile. Cool. And West Bay decided to have a statement year. We saw this happen with One Else and Double Mario in the past. However, I'd say even those the Hallmark years pale in contrast with the show Tarnsman has put on in 2021. Tarnsman has been considered the prodigal child ever since he entered the scene in roughly 2011. Yet he immediately inserted himself in a string of high and low-profile team projects that included Doom 2 The Way He Did, Batside X, Adventure Square, Ass, Abysmal Speedman Possessions, and a whole bunch of other names that ensured he was signed under everything and, well, nothing. Year after year after year, Tarnsman had credit to a map or 7 here or there, but not really a star project tied uniquely to his name. But this whole time the Mad Mapper was scheming and planning. Deep down his underground base atop of a secluded mountain, he was diligently designing for a better half of the last decade. And then besides the 2 months, Tarnsman released a 32 map, vanilla comparable pseudo parody of Doom the Way He Did, and a 4 episode 36 partial conversion megawad for the Eternity Engine. Simply outrageous. I will leave it up to my colleagues to sing the proper ode to those particular projects, but let us focus on the man of the hour. Throughout his career, Tarzan proved to be a grandmaster of synthesis, and his ability to surf enough of mappers becomes absurdly clear in this year's crop. When Doom 2 The Way He Did provided careful analysis of his design tropes. Doom 2 in Spain only makes the original and the derivative and introduces both with irrelevant parody, not allowing rules to stand in the way of good tenor FU trap. Furthermore, there's Tarzan's Projectile Hell, a project always completely dedicated to mess with the player and murder them dead with unfair ambition and gotcha scenarios. Yeah, I was threatening to. Sorry, that's happened a few times tonight. Gunky. In his ode to Valiant, among other things, Tarzan embodies Skillsoul's dark side and asks, what if it was all bastard tough 2 who like bullet hell meta with grass cannon balance and anime references? While recreating the exquisite technique that went into painting Mona Lisa, except moving her in space and replacing the style of a Hagego face. If you think the many ways you die playing these maps are cheaper than necessary, Tarzan might actually to record yourself crying about it. It's his house and his rules. We also shouldn't forget that Tarzan organised a mapping contest this year that celebrated his 10th anniversary in the community. One that yielded some award-worthy content and gave the winners a big fat reason to smile. Read, the winner got $1,000 from him, so you could say people were motivated to join and try their best. But that too should be covered by a separate article. All in all, Tarzan prepared quite a spectacle for us to close out his decade of doom, and it's only fair we give back a something or something to it. And here's all the things we're still waiting for. All these. What are we still waiting for? Still waiting. All these fucking words. Hey Ashnamar, how you doing? Good shit. And that's it. That's all the other stuff. So yeah, that's the Cacowards in the entirety. I'm pretty happy with this year's Cacowards. It was nice to see in name only and 1K Lines 3 get some recognition. And an interesting variety of WODs was mods and WODs, I should say. Excuse me. Getting caught, but hey John, I missed you reading of Ramp, but one of my maps was featured in the review, the one with the fire sky. Yeah, Ramp sounds like it'd be an interesting project for play with 200+ entries. It's just the sheer length of it would be a bit of a thing. I'd like to play Ramp someday though, Imp Boy, that's for sure. I would definitely like to play it. You know, I was interested in Ramp in the early going as a concept idea, but the length is off-putting. It's but it is something I would like to play in the future. That's for sure. But yeah, I think the Cacowards this year were pretty good. Again, it's really nice to see Krajers, I have no idea, get some recognition. Definitely deserved, out 100%. It's nice to see Down the Drain also get a runners-up prize. Definitely also worthwhile. Got recognized. 1K Lines 3. I would have liked to. I really wish that they, in the 1K Lines 3 review, talked about the final boss map. I mean, I know there's plenty of maps that probably have dehacked bosses, but in my opinion, the ending of 1K Lines 3, the final boss sort of thing, is way cooler than a bunch of these map sets that finish with Icon of Sins. And I really want to emphasize 1K Lines 3's map 30 should be a fucking influence for the entire Doom community of how you don't have to end your map set with an Icon of Sin! You can do something else instead that's way creative and cooler. If you want to use dehacked or whatever. And I really want to emphasize that very strongly. You know? I don't say that lightly because it could have been a really poor map 30, but Aurelius fucking nailed the idea of a challenging yet fair map 30. There was just a fun ending, you know? It really did. That was my massive takeaway from 1K Lines 3. If nothing else, it showed you don't need to end map sets with icons. There are other more interesting ways of doing it with simplistic, but requiring the expertise of a good mapper to, I suppose, pull off effectively, trickery. You know? Hey, Biodegradable, how you doing? I'm just going through the entire Cacowards. I've skimmed over stuff because I'm partly drunk, but also because, you know, not all of this compels me to read every sentence. But it's been good. It's been fun, you know. Yeah, it showed me in the sense that modern mappers can do it. I've always known this my entire life, but it's nice to see that in 2021 a mapper will choose to conclude their map set with their own dehacked creation and some intriguing setups. How easy would it have been for Aurelius to just hop on the Icon of Sin bandwagon? You know. I'm sorry. But, yeah. I think the Cacowards this year were good. That's all I'm going to say. I think they did good. I think they were good. I don't think I've, you know, been really disappointed by Cacowards sets. I found a new what I even might want to play. On Intergalactic Xenology 2. It's something I might check out in the next few weeks. We'll see. But, yeah. Anyway, that's going to be it tonight's stream. It's nearly 2 o'clock in the morning. I hope you've all enjoyed this Cacaward reaction stream. I'm sorry if sometimes my words have been a bit slurred or if my reactions have been a bit weird. But, you know, my general reaction is I like the Cacowards this year. It's been good stuff. A lot of cool things have been highlighted. I'm just very glad Kraja's WOD got a runner-up prize. Really cool to see his hard work getting some acknowledgement, honestly. And yeah, it's been fun as always. I always like seeing what the best considerations in the Doom community have been. So good shit. So I will be streaming tomorrow. Don't drink and stream. Yeah, well, I won't be drinking tomorrow. I have more playtesting in mind. There is playtesting I have yet to do. There's going to be another Hackcross map. There'll be some other stuff too. So tomorrow night there will be more playtesting. It's going to be fun. You know, you look forward to that too. Sorry, Biodegradable. So that's the plan. Yeah, I'm going to be doing some... Oh man, this tracker music is so good. So yeah, tomorrow it'll be more playtesting. And I got a few more things to do. It's going to be awesome. And hopefully you can join me for that. So, apparently all 18 of us are going to be raiding... What did you say Serious Cacademia was doing some shit? Sorry. We'll go with Caco. Is he actually streaming right now? Well, I guess we can raid him. Sure. Okay. Yep, seeing the VOD on YouTube as usual at this point, mate. Okay. Fine. Let me see if I can get his name spelt in the chat properly. I did it! Yes! I could spell his name despite being quite drunk. Woo! I got it. I got it good. Alright, well, I will see you all tomorrow for some more Doom and playtesting. Have a good evening. Cacowards are awesome. Again, if you want to read them, they're all there. It's good shit. And I'll see you all tomorrow evening for some more playtesting. And have a good evening. Stay safe. Drinking and streaming is probably not the best idea, I agree. Good night.